Welcome back to Rise 360. Now, for sports fans out there, our next guest needs no introduction. He's an NBA champion who recently played for the Golden State Warriors.
Yes, indeed, and now he's shooting for more success as the founder and CEO of his non-profit, Athletes vs. Cancer. Matt Barnes, welcome to Rise 360.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us, and gracing us with your 20-foot presence.
Now, we have to start off with the fact that after 14 seasons, you're now retired.
Yes.
How does it feel to be retired, and how are you spending your time besides your nonprofit?
Good. It's a relief, to play 14 years, 15 years professionally, 4 years of college. Really, the last 20 years has been such a regimented schedule. So now I have more times for outside passions, more time to be a father, which is most important to me, and then like you said, my cancer foundation, and then all my other businesses I'm into.
Wow, busy man. You're supposed to retire and get less busy. So relax.
I'm excited about the next step. You know what I mean? I think basketball was obviously a great part of my life, but it was such a small part. I have so much more living to do, so I'm excited about what's next.
Okay.
But still in the arena of sports, I mean, you're currently the sports analyst for Fox, right?
Yeah, well, I did some correspondent work for them. I think I may be doing some work for All-Star Forum, so they kind of just wanted to see what I was about and what I was doing. So, I mean, that was a fun day. That worked out. I want to get into broadcasting, but not right now.
So tell me what it feels like or what it felt like being on the other side of the camera.
It was good. I liked it. I've been on this side of the camera so much in my life. It's just I'd rather be behind. I want to direct it and produce and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think I've worn my on-camera time out. I'm ready to get behind camera.
Well, do you think you'll be producing more like movies, documentary films?
Both. I have about 6 scripted, non-scripted TV shows, documentaries, and then actually a big project we just got was The Life Rest of Huey Newton. So we secured the funding and the script for that, and so now we're going after our acting cast, and that'll be a really big movie.
Sounds right.
So I hate to continuously take you back to sports, but obviously you made your fame as a basketball player.
No problem.
Right.
What people do not know about you, though, is you grew up as a great football player.
Yeah.
Can we potentially see any foray into the world of NFL?
No, I'm too old now. I'll be
People like Michael Jordan did.
Right.
He came back, did basketball and baseball after
I could have
basketball.
did it earlier.
Why can't you be like the first, maybe take a sabbatical and then come back when you're 50 and be like, I'm late, 50, I'm great, and I'm fabulous.
I think I'm actually going to play in a flag football tournament this summer.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be 38 next month, so the NFL is out.
He's still a baby.
Tell
us I'm 38.
But sports.
Yeah.
But in the sports world, that's kind of old. I'm young in life, but I have a lot more living to do. But in the sports world, I'm kind of ancient. So
fair enough. All right. Well, speaking of growing up and playing sports, I know that you grew up with a mother who was Italian and your father was African American, and it seems like you had a rough childhood because of that. Why so?
First is just a lot of drug abuse and abuse in general in the house. But then growing up biracial, people don't understand you really don't have a side to identify with. I wasn't black enough and I wasn't white enough, so I just was kind of there by myself. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, that led to a lot of fights and getting in trouble growing up, until people just understood, like, okay, you're not going to talk trash, So it took a little while. It got so bad that my mom actually had to come work at the school to kind of keep me out of trouble, because, like I said, it wasn't like I was looking for trouble, but, I was taught that, someone, called you the N-word, do something about it. That's just the way my dad was raised, and that's the way I was raised. So I was, constantly getting into stuff. So.
Were you experiencing racism as an African American, but also as an Italian American? I
think more of being an African American. You know what I mean? Because I grew up in a rough neighborhood, but my parents always put me in white schools because they wanted me to have a somewhat better education. You know what I mean? So it was really just a racism on being black. It got to a point where in my senior year of high school, my school was vandalized, buildings were burned, the NAACP had to come down and have my back. It got pretty hectic out there.
It did get hectic. When we can hear a little bit more about it in your documentary, we actually have a clip that we'll show of your documentary where you're talking about it, and then we'll come back and discuss.
Let's take a look.
Year in high school, my sister was a freshman, which is his mom, and there was a kid that kept messing with her, and she said he was calling her. I was just like, really? And she's like, yeah, I told my teacher he won't leave me alone. So one day after class, I only had 4 periods. So after class, she comes crying to me and said, this boy spit in my hair and called me a n***. I was like, what? And she showed me she still had the spit in her hair and she was crying. She had her girlfriends with her. So I went, and the kid happened to just walk by. So I just took off on him. When I went to the office, it was just, why'd you do that? And I'm just like, he called my sister. well, you know, his dad's a prominent lawyer in this city, and he wasn't raised like that, and I know he wouldn't talk like that, so, you know, why'd you do that? So they didn't believe, you know, what I did. So long story short, I ended up getting suspended for 6 days. This is on a Wednesday, I want to say. I got suspended Wednesday. Thursday night, I guess a bunch of KKK people came up here and vandalized the school, had a mannequin with my football jersey, Die Barnes. It made national news, like the NAACP and everything came up here.
Powerful.
Wow. I mean, we have to go and watch that documentary in its entirety. Yeah. But your mother actually passed away from cancer 10 years ago, which is why you created the foundation Athletes versus Cancer. Tell me a bit more about the organization.
She was diagnosed November 1st, 2007, and died November 27th. So within 26 days, she was gone. She was diagnosed with 4 cancers, all in stage 4. She ended up dying from liver cancer. But after kind of the smoke cleared from that incident, I kind of wanted to create something that just helped people. You know what I mean? I went through such a dramatic experience losing my mom. So we started off with, you know, health fairs, screening clinics, kind of knowing your body, you know, the old adage, you know, knowledge is power. But now I'm kind of transitioning more to, I've been paying for a lot of surgeries and medicines, unfortunately some funerals, some hospice care. And then my ultimate goal is to create a scholarship program for kids who've beat cancer to go on to college. Because I realize, you know, whether insurance covers it or your family has to cover it, you know, congratulations that you beat it, but now what's next? Yeah. You know what I mean? So we want to be able to kind of bridge that gap and help kids that, you know, have obviously won the battle of a lifetime going to college.
And why is it important for you, and what do you get out of doing this type of work that you're doing?
I just think to give back. You know, I've been fortunate enough to have a rough but amazing life. You know what I mean? I got to throw a ball in a hoop and make millions of dollars, you know what I mean? And I'm very thankful for that. But, you know, I also grew up understanding that, you know, a lot of people were less fortunate. And now that I am fortunate enough to give back and help, it's something I do often.
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious, why your mother, did she never go to the doctor to find out
no,
she was
she actually
even
went.
had it? Like, how did she wait so long?
We actually were gonna sue Kaiser until we found out how common lawsuits against Kaiser was. But she went to the doctor 6 times in a year and a half, and they never did any screening. She was heavy set, so they told her to change her diet, eat right, exercise. She did all that.
What?
Still never screened. So she actually had a minor heart attack at work. Rushed to the hospital. Got her vitals down and tried to get her right back out. And as my dad was wheeling her out, they saw the doctor that did my dad's knee surgery. And my mom explained, hey, I just had a heart attack today. They're already kicking me out. I still don't feel good. So he was the first person actually the day she had a heart attack to screen her. And that's when they found out how much cancer she had. So we actually had a lawsuit against against Kaiser until we found out, you know, I wasn't looking for any money. We just kind of wanted it to write it, you know, but we found out how common Kaiser gets sued. So we just kind of dropped the lawsuit.
Wow. Man, that is powerful but incredibly sad. But I'm really happy that you're doing something positive out of such a negative experience. And now that you have more time to dedicate to the organization, tell me about where you envision it going and what sort of impact you're looking to make with it.
Like I said, my goal is to be more hands-on now that I have more time. Like I said, just to really be helping people is where I get, you know, the hope and the happiness from, because cancer is a monster and people don't understand it not only affects the person with it, but you know, your support system, your circle. You know what I mean? So trying to provide and bridge the gap there, helping with financial cost, and then, like I said, to ultimately be a scholarship program for kids who beat cancer and moved on. So, you know, I want it to be as big as possible, you know, and I call on my friends every summer. You guys had my football game up there. I do a football game with Snoop, and we had everyone from,
it's actually a legendary flag
cool.
football.
And we had, you know, we have Kevin Durant, Chris Brown, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan.
Okay, so how did you hook up with Snoop Dogg in the beginning to actually put this together?
I've been a fan of Snoop for a long time. I got a chance to meet him when I went to UCLA. We became close friends, and then he lost his uncle to cancer. And you know, I'm a big football fan. He bleeds football, you know what I mean? So we're just like, hey, let's do a football game for cancer. And next year will be our 6th game.
Can I just tell you that I know absolutely nothing about football, American football.
Okay.
Yet I know everything about your flag football game.
Well, good.
Everyone knows. When he said legendary, he wasn't joking. Everybody globally knows about that game. It's amazing.
We've had a lot of big people come through. You know, now our goal is obviously to continue to grow the game, but then, you know, grow the support we get, you know, from outside, you know, to continue to get some of the big companies behind us so we can raise some real money and really start going out there and making a difference.
That's good. Well, I know a lot of people that are watching may want to help make a difference. What can others do to give back?
Go to athletesversuscancer.com, and that'll tell you how you can donate, tell you more about the foundation, and then we'll be posting when the game, and we're actually picking dates right now. I'm checking with Snoop and his tour schedule to find out when we're going to have the game, but we do it every August. So, you know, once we get a final date, I'll send you guys the information. You guys can post, and if anyone's in California during that time, come out and support.
Definitely.
Love that. Absolutely. I will take a trip just for the game. I'll be there in my shorts. Can I pay?
Yeah,
50-yard line.
I don't know anything about
It's all right. You just
American
come out there and play.
What are the
She
rules?
just wants somebody to tackle her. It's flag football. They don't do that.
Wait a minute. You didn't tell me that was a possibility. No, I'm joking. Now, we actually spoke about Jacob Copeland and his signing and his mother walking off when he picked. Right. So tell me about what you thought when you saw that, and did it bring back memories from your own signing days?
That really bothered me, to be honest with you, because you know, as a parent myself, you're supposed to love and support, and especially when you're doing such a positive thing with going to college. Like you're going to, your son is going to college. So the fact that he didn't pick the school you wanted him to go to, you're going to walk up and just disrupt his whole interview. And one of the I remember when I signed with UCLA, I was excited. You know, I mean, one of the best days of my life, and for him to sign with Florida and his mom just get up with disgust and walk away, it was disappointing as a parent, because like I said, you always want to support your kid, good and bad, but especially when they're doing something so amazing and going to college. And how can you just get up in the middle of that interview and disrupt it like that? Was crazy.
It's mean-spirited.
Exactly. And now, and you're a parent, so you know, are you hoping your kids follow in your footsteps?
Yeah, they both.
How would you be?
I want my kids to be happy. You know what I mean? Whether it's sports, academics, lawyers, doctors, whatever it may be. You know, I got blessed with two beautiful boys who are very intelligent and very athletic. You know, so whatever their lane is, I'm going to support that. But they both already said they want to be UCLA Bruins, which is cool.
Okay,
so,
nice. So you don't have to worry about it. Following that.
Wait, so what happens if one of them changes their mind later down the line and he says, "Daddy, I want to go to, I don't know, any other places to pick"?
As long as he's going to somewhere to go to school, I'm completely fine with that.
There you go. So do they actually have hoop skills? What are they better at? Football,
both.
basketball?
Football and basketball, they're two main sports, but they play soccer, they've done baseball, karate, swimming. They play instruments. They're all over the place.
360 kids.
Yeah, so
Love
you know, they're going to be doing something.
All right, I'm sure they won't have any trouble getting a
Well,
scholarship.
with you as a father, okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Much success with your organization.
Thank you guys very much.
And thank you for all the work you're doing and all the exposure you're bringing to, you know, an illness like cancer.
Well, thank you guys for helping me support, you know, to get the word out there. You know, it's something that affects everyone. You know, cancer doesn't discriminate from children to our grandparents. So it's something we need to continue to come together as a group and try to find a cause.
And one more time, the website again.
athletesvscancer.com. athletesvscancer.com.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Matt.
All right.
And we will be right back with more Rise Entertainment 360. Stick around.
That was great.